Welcome to Diversity Dish, where we're dishing on everything diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice related. My name is Sedruola Maruska, and we're bridging the gap between what needs to be said and what needs to be heard. Those individual experiences that are often ignored or dismissed. Sometimes I'm dining alone, sometimes I'm dining with friends, and sometimes I'm dining a la carte. No matter how we're dining, it promises to be delicious. Let's dig in. Hi, before we get into our episode, I want to take a moment and send a shout out to my patrons over at Patreon. Those people who are actively supporting me on a monthly basis as I share information on how to be a better ally, anti-racist, and co-conspirator. I share exclusive video, audio, and podcast episodes there, along with articles and workshops. I'd love for you to come over and be part of my community. We're at patreon.com/Sedruola Maruska. That's SEDRUOLA Maruska. Now let's get into our episode. Today we'll be served by Mr. Reginald Colas. How are you, Reggie?
Good, Sadie. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm so glad that you agreed to come on the show.
Thank you.
Just so everyone knows, Reginald Colas is my first cousin on my mother's side, but he is also a very formidable person. I'm going to read you a little bit about Reggie. Reginald is a veteran with 18 years of service behind him. He's worked throughout the UK, Germany, and Africa as a medic and translator. 16 months ago, he and his family gave everything up, sold some things, gave most away, and moved to Frankfurt, Germany. After retiring from the military, Reggie began painting and soon started making a living from his art. He has international collectors and has sold a full collection to a major collector with galleries in New York, Tokyo, and Paris. All right, Reggie, that's you. That's you,
Yeah.
and so much more. Reggie is also a chef. He is a beast in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I'll let you know that. But you didn't say that part, did you? Reggie picked up a brush and never looked back after having a full career in the military.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk to Reggie about all things military and art world and all that good stuff. Okay, Reggie, so I just want to ask you one question. And that question is, share one piece of advice you'd have for someone who came to you wanting to learn how to market their talents to the art world.
I think the first thing would be, like, if you're coming into the art world or the art game or whatever like that, just to get out there, it's going to be an issue. If it's something that you love and if it's something that you do, it's going to come off easier and people are going to start noticing it. And they can notice, that it's something that you really want to do. And for me, the way I did it was, how the people in the music game do it is you flood the internet, flood the algorithms with your work. Once you have a stable collection, because the worst thing you can do is somebody say, hey, I want 20 paintings and you only have 6,
Right.
You can't, push things out there with only 10 paintings and stuff like that. I mean, I think the main thing is you just have to be in there. You have to paint as much as possible. You have to go to shows. You have to support other artists. You have to know what's going around just to pop up there. I mean, it's like any other industry with art and creativity and stuff like that. Like, you just have to show up and somebody has to see you. Somebody has to like you, and word of mouth and things like that. If you're just painting in the house and you're just painting in the house, then that's where it's going to stay. But yeah,
Right.
just know that it's not fast. Some people might luck out. I consider myself lucky where, I had some people pick up interest pretty early. But it's like the art. It's like any other kind of art. We're really in it for the love of the art and not for any kind of gratification publicly or Some people might be, but better when, when I'm painting and I'm not thinking about who's going to buy it or something like that. It's usually when I get the best results because I'm really just pure in just the practice of painting. So I would just say keep painting, paint as much as you can, and really just be in the art world. And you got to support people. I mean, I was a collector before I was a painter. I can't expect people to pay this much or that much if you're not willing to do it yourself, I mean, and you just got to be there. You have to go everywhere. You just have to be there. You have to show up. That's half of the game. Half of it is being around and being noticeable, being noticed.
Right. So to just add to that question, do you find that as a Black man, there is a difference the way the art world responds to you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, just off the back, they'll call you a Black artist,
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that just separates you right there, because it's almost like saying, he's an artist, but he's a Black artist. So almost like, let's give him a couple, or this is what you should expect, or something like that. Where if they say something like, oh, this is a Black country singer or something like that, it's almost like saying, hey, you're not really a country singer, so we got to add this label to you. You know what I'm saying? Where, comparing me to other artists, or you're just going to compare me to Black artists or female artists or Black female artists or Asian, but if it's anybody else, it's just an artist. You know what I'm saying? And that's really how, I mean, literally there's times where I've been at shows or functions where that's the first thing they come up to me and say, oh, you must be a Black artist. And they'll start you off like that. And I've had a gallerist say, oh yeah, I've never showed a Black artist. And I've seen some of the work that they've had in their gallery before. And in my head, I'm like, well, maybe you should have. You know what I mean?
Right.
But they really separated. There's some people that still separate it as art and Black art. Some museums.
And then Black art.
Yeah, there's museums that still have it separated, art and Black art, primitive art, graffiti art. They'll put some of that stuff right into the primitive section, they'll call it. And then you'll have the ones that they consider the masters, the Rembrandts and
the artists.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, but that's how it is. And it's not just once, or literally it's like going to the club as a woman and expecting your butt to get touched or caressed or something. Like it's gonna happen. And they're gonna categorize you as a Black artist, and you're gonna go to you'll go to some of these art fairs, and you'll notice that, hey, all the Black artists are right here in this corner, where I had to walk the furthest away from the entry, and the AC is not as strong and stuff like it. I went to Basel last year, and it was, I was looking for a couple of artists, and literally they're all around the corner of each other because they put all the Black artists in the Upper East Side type of deal. Yeah. They separate us. It's still separated,
Wow. Well, thank you, Reggie, for being on and for sharing that information.
No
I
problem.
think that some people are really going to find that interesting.
Yeah.
I know I did, but I definitely want to have you back. So thank you. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed that episode, please download, rate, and share this podcast. Also, don't forget to come by patreon.com/Sedruola Maruska and be part of the community. Look forward to seeing you next time.